Well, good afternoon and welcome. The church where I work is a rather old-fashioned church in some ways, and actually I think most all churches could make that statement truthfully if one would carefully look at that church's tenets and practices. I suspect one could find several items that were traditional or from a former era. One of those practices considered to be sort of old-fashioned nowadays is Wednesday evening services. Most churches don't do that anymore, but we still do, at least most months of the year. We do take a break over the summer months. We don't have a large attendance, but the time is productive and it gives us the impetus to finish out the week. I've been teaching a short adult class on the New Testament book of Thessalonians on Wednesday evenings. I chose that book because, first of all, I myself didn't know a lot about the book and I wanted to learn more. Second, it's a short book that fit into my 4-week time slot. And third, there's a wealth of teaching in that book that is as pertinent now as it was those many centuries ago. Paul the Apostle is the author of the short letter to the church at Thessalonica. He had written at least one prior letter to the church, the book of 1 Thessalonians. In that prior letter, he urged the people of the church to lead quiet lives and, if at all possible, earn their own living, not being dependent upon others. And he also urged them to not be idle or disruptive, but instead to encourage others and to be patient with everyone. Well, that first letter evidently had little effect on those who were the subjects of that one paragraph about being idle and being disruptive, because in the second letter that's been preserved for us, Paul is much more adamant in his teaching on idleness and minding one's own business, going so far as to tell the church members to keep away from those who are idle, disruptive, and busybodies. He minces no words and he's direct and clear in what he says. Wouldn't life go more smoothly if everyone just minded his own business and became involved in the business of others only, and I repeat, only if asked to do so? And even if asked, that help should be encouraging and tempered with patience and with love. And additionally, the one who has been asked for help should gracefully bow out when asked or when it becomes apparent that no further help is needed or wanted. We can't even keep our own lives on an even keel much of the time. How would we expect to be able to guide the lives of others? Also, being a busybody, as Paul says, inserting ourselves into other people's business tends to bring out 3 things in us that are not at all good. First, we tend to develop a feeling of superiority over another person. Second, we inflate our own egos in this process, thinking more of ourselves than we ought, thinking that we are the ones who have the answers. And third, we gain a certain amount of power over that person that we think we're helping. All of those things run counter to the attitudes and behaviors of Christians, and it would be helpful if everyone, Christian or not, realized that these things are not good for us or for society. Well, things haven't changed much in the centuries between when this was written and today. Idleness, lack of work, or productive service tends to bring on the temptation to insert oneself into someone else's business, even when not asked, needed, or wanted. This kind of activity tends to disrupt things, cause hard feelings, creates divides and schisms between and among people. It's not the kind of activity that a Christian should be involved in, and it would be helpful if everyone, Christian or not, heeded this good advice from the good book. Well, thanks for listening to this sort of sermonette today. I normally don't make the Thursday Thought a Bible class, but sometimes one has to do what one has to do. May the rest of your week be blessed, and may we all remember the true reason for the upcoming Memorial Day holiday as we gather with family and friends. Blessings.